Hello! My name is Bisa, and I've been doing this YouTube thing for 10 years now, which is honestly wild to think about. So much has happened in that time. It's to this day, or to this date, today, that 10 years ago on November 20th, 2012, I made this channel. Not this channel. I made my first channel, sorry. I'm gonna talk about the history here in a bit, but, you know, man. It's hard to talk about, honestly. There are so many things have happened, you know. You might look at my, views or subscriber counts and be like, this is a nobody. Like, his first upload is 6 years ago. I think that's where that's sitting right now. And he's been doing really unregular uploads and that kind of stuff, but this isn't my first channel. This is my first rodeo. And I've been doing this for so long now that, you know, I've seen so many things come and go, and so many creators rise and fall, and just I've gone from so many I've interacted with so many communities, so many people, found so many friends here on the internet. It's wild, honestly, and thinking about all the things that somewhere at some point had to fall into place for this to happen, the butterfly effect that leads to me doing this for 10 years. It's kind of wild to think about all the things that kind of had to come together to get to this place. Even though I am, in broad terms, a nobody, I'm super happy with all the things that I've done. And I kind of want to preface this whole video by saying that, because things might sound like they kind of get negative from here. I have a little list of bullet points here that I want to go down with you, talking about my channel's history, what I want to do in the future, that kind of stuff. Just because it's been a wicked time, genuinely. Every time I work on something for YouTube, every time I'm not lost in thought, worrying too much about things, I'm having a blast, honestly. I just do that worrying thing way too much. So even if a lot of the following video might sound negative, just know it's been a fantastic 10 years. And you know, why not start this off with a little bit of a history lesson? And for that, we actually have to go further back, much more. We have to go much further. This is unscripted, by the way, if you can't tell. Again, I just have a list of bullet points here that I want to talk about. We have to go much further back than 10 years, to roughly 2007, 6-ish, I think. To when YouTube Germany as a thing came to be, thanks to a YouTuber known as Cold Mirror, or her name is Cuddy, or her nickname is Cuddy, who was the first big German YouTuber. So popular, actually, at her time, pulling in sensational tens of thousands of views on some of her best performing videos. This is very early days, you might be able to tell. And what she did, she would just make weird videos talking about nerdy shit, doing reviews and that kind of stuff. And she was is a bona fide picture book Tumblrite. And I'm not talking about the 2012 Gamergate, Feminazi, SJW, Tumblr user. No, I'm talking about what Tumblrite meant before that shit happened. You know, the absolute, the terminally online turbo nerd, right? For that had a childhood, a childhood appreciation or childhood obsession with Harry Potter and that kind of stuff, which is actually specifically what Cuddy was into. But, again, her success was such a sensation here in Germany that she got her own TV show, actually. That's how popular she was. And this might sound similar to a different story from a very different channel you might have heard of in the English-speaking realm. But in comparison to that story, Cuddy's TV show was actually really good. Not that different from her usual stuff. And another formative creator was Gronk, who to this day is seen as the grandfather of Let's Plays here in Germany, at least. Even back then, you could go out in the streets, ask people, hey, do you know who Gronk is? When this whole, social media and internet content thing was nowhere near as big, was still a really niche thing. You could go out, ask people, hey, do you know Gronk? And he, at the worst, you would get a, oh yeah, isn't he that guy who plays video games for a living? Just to, note how much early cultural impact these two creators had. And I think they're both still going to this day. Gronk definitely is still going strong with multiple daily uploads. The man is an absolute fucking machine. I don't know how he does it. But shortly after this, so many more creators started just absolutely popping off on the scene. Especially when you talk about things like sketch comedy or, these into the camera jump cuts, like a show where you would just talk about a topic for a video and you kind of try to take the shit out of it for 10 or 5 minutes with a bit of sketch comedy strewn in here and there. Those types of videos were going ballistic, and you can thank channels like iBlali, which actually started before iCarly started airing here in Germany, LeFloid, Mr. Trashpack, who was a YouTube news guy, which was super novel concept at the time. The Philip DeFranco show wasn't a big deal yet. There was Ape Crime TV, and my personal favorites were Apple War Pictures. They are fantastic, and they actually served as a springboard for a lot of these creators. And, the Let's Play scene also massively expanded, with people like Pete's Meat, German Let's Play, which I know is a very original name, or Let's Play Marcos, my personal favorite, or one of the biggest ones, Dana. But there was one channel that was pretty much triumphant above all others, and that was Why Titty. They were an absolute internet sensation. Everyone knew about them at the height of their time. They were so popular that the songs they were releasing would top the German charts for months. Why Titty were an absolute phenomenon, and they defined what it means to be a large creator in Germany. Now, all of that is just kind of background. Because one day, on actually November 21st, 2012, is the upload date it says on the video, which doesn't scan because I created my channel in response to that, and I created my channel the day before. YouTube's database just kind of fucked up something there, I think. In their comment show, which is literally called Kommentar show, or commenting show, if you will, in English, they had a comment from a channel called Hans Bauer, which read, if essentially I'm translating here, if this comment gets into the commenting show, I'm gonna eat a broom. Now, eating a broom, that's a German, it's a German idiom for, if something, if this incredible thing that is wild happens, that would be fucking insane. And, If you don't believe something will happen, then you're going to say, if that happens, I'll eat a broom, right? And obviously they saw that comment and put it into a commenting show, and Hans Bauer quickly became the biggest meme on YouTube Germany, because in that video, Whitey asked people to comment under any video they watched, Hans Bauer is gonna eat a broom. And that pressure started building up so much that thing became such a huge meme, and the pressure began building up that a little dude somewhere in rural Germany thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool to be Hans Bauer and pretend to eat a broom? I did not make that video, but that is why I created my first channel. And from there on, you know, I started doing Let's Plays under the name of BisaLP. You know, Let's Plays, again, were a huge thing. Minecraft was blowing up thanks to Gronk, who actually has the longest running continuous Let's Play on YouTube. There are some Let's Plays that have gone on for more parts, but I think I don't know which one it was, but it was a Binding of Isaac Let's Play that's technically gone on for longer, but that spans over multiple games, multiple expansions, and multiple save files, whereas Gronk's Minecraft Let's Play is persistent. So I think that qualifies as the longest Let's Play ever. But yeah, Let's Plays were a gargantuan thing on YouTube Germany, and Minecraft was even more gargantuan. So, you know, I started doing Let's Plays. And not just of Minecraft, but a bunch of other stuff as well. I don't remember too well what it was, but oh, sorry, I moved the camera. But that's how I got my start, with Minecraft Let's Plays, because of course I did. Then, you know, a bunch of friends wanted to join me, and we decided to turn BisaLP into a bit of a brand. Rather than just being me, we were now collectively Bisa Let's Play, and I was Bisa of Bisa Let's Play, if that makes any sense. They would be, I'm not going to put their names here, but of Bisa Let's Play. And because after a while I felt like that was a bit of a too self-aggrandizing of a name, we changed our name to Chaoscast, because I felt like it. So I was Chaoscast's Bisa. That scans, doesn't it? I still like that name to this day, somehow. But I did stuff as Bisa from the Chaoscast for a while, and we even had someone join us. Another YouTuber who I'm still in touch with today, Indiana Petre. I'll leave a link to his Twitch in the description. That's where he does most of his stuff nowadays. And together we were the two active members of the Chaoscast. The other two never really did anything. So yeah, that was what I did for the first 4-ish years of my YouTube career. Until I started to feel dissatisfied with making German content. Not just because I wanted to stop doing Let's Play videos, but also because I wanted to go into English videos, because I felt like the language was holding me back from really realizing my potential as for the things that I wanted to do, right? And I wanted to do more heavily edited stuff as well. I didn't just want to do wishy-washy Let's Plays. I wanted to do videos, right? So, we changed the Chaoscast to The Field, which would be an international, hopefully someday, international network of creators. And Petre would stay and do German stuff and be the German leader of The Field, and I would go on to start a new channel and make English content as the English leader of The Field. So that is when I started doing Weebshit on this channel that you're watching this on right now. My first upload here was originally supposed to be Simfigure September, because even at the point where I started my channel, back in 2012, I was already well into anime, but at this point, I was well into anime. I think the difference there is clear. About 4 years of being a little shit weeb. So I was planning to make a series of Symphogear reviews as a tribute for the show that really started all my fandom, big time, my anime fandom. And while that did happen, I did do Symphogear September. Oops! Darling in the Franxx had a massive impact on me and the way I consume media. Guess I'm making that my first video, and that happened, and I started just kind of being an AniTuber for a moment, while in September of that year also doing Symphogear September. Sorry, I'm just kind of fidgeting around with stuff. My bad. So yeah, Symphogear September happened and got me into legal hot water, which is why the second video of that series is the third one uploaded on my channel. King Records, the record company behind Symphogear's music, actually sued me for like $50,000 because I used a short clip of music, standalone, in that video. Not my other videos, they were fine, but that one, they sued me over. And of course I won that lawsuit, easy fair use claim, because for some reason they sued me in the US, which is weird. Japanese company suing a German creator in the US makes sense, I guess, in somewhere it makes sense. But also on this channel, you know, uploads started slowing down and it was hard for me to keep up a schedule. Then in February 2020, Symphogear XDU on Global had started. You know, of course, at this time I was well versed in gacha and mobile games because a couple of years earlier, this little mobile game called Girls Frontline came out in the global server, and I was playing that religiously by that time. Or I was playing it religiously for over 2 years by that time. Or almost 2 years. Yeah, this was before the 2-year anniversary. My bad. But, you know, Symphogear XDU started, which I had minor experience from the Japanese server from the, you know, years prior, where I played it a little bit here and there, so I thought, hey, that second channel I made and never uploaded anything to, I should make XDU videos. So I did that for a while. And, you know, I had a big falling out with the Symphogear community around that time as well, where someone doxed me. Actually, the old house, like the house that I grew up in as a child, actually got swatted, which is fucking wild because that's extremely hard to pull off here in Germany. And I decided to run the fuck away from that community, and that also led me to drop the Bisa name. And in mid-2020, I created the Twitter account SoppoBeard as a roleplay account for Girls Frontline, where I would play an OC, the bearded Sop mod, that obviously is based on SopMod 2, or M4 SopMod 2, from Girls Frontline, but I kind of wanted to do an OC. Didn't really want to commit to anything, so I just took my favorite, Sapu, and tweaked her a little bit. I even wrote a story to explain where she came from. I wanted to write that for longer, but RP interactions never really happened, and within a month, I had suddenly turned from an RP account into a historian that taught people about the history of Girls Frontline and its creators, and somehow that turned into learning about the origins of the entire industry and this huge web of developers and passionate artists, and the rest is history. And here we are, really. You know, it's wild how far I've come, like, as a creative, in all this time, and I'm really happy with where I am, despite things we're going to talk about in a bit. And, you know, I want to talk about the future of this channel, of really everything I'm going to do online. And just a small detail about myself there is that roughly in, I think around the time of 5th or 6th grade, I was found to be highly gifted. And because I was told this, and it was something that was always dangled in front of my face, that led to very unhealthy perceived expectations of me and the resulting buildup of pressure. And because of that, I never found like a drive for doing things within myself, for myself, really. And that kind of extended into my YouTube stuff and into the channel. You know, the only video that I didn't do without, you know, telling someone about it and then suddenly being like, oh shit, wait, now they expect me to make that video actually. That was a mistake. And then from there, those expectations and that pressure or those perceived expectations, and from it, pressure started building up. And it would at times get so bad that it would debilitate me and make me unable to work on a video. And I think the only video right now on my channel that isn't remotely like that, that I did completely by myself, out of the blue, I decided to make that video, made it, put it out, and there it is, was the Franks video. So, great going for me there, I guess. And over the last 3 years, where my output on here has been the slowest it's ever been, that's been building up. You know, reloading my GFL podcast, which is a separate channel. The pressure that I started feeling from that started pulling down my enjoyment of the game Girls Frontline itself. And, you know, also a lot of videos that I've promised over the last 3 years never came to be because, you know, GFL History Fact, those videos I never got around to making because I felt like, can I live up to that at this point? Especially with how many things I said wrong, actually, during GFL History Fact. You know, the iceberg videos about either the GFL Story iceberg or the Micah Team Deep Lore iceberg, I never got around to because I never, like, every time I try to sit down and work on them, it feels like that perceived pressure, even though, you know, maybe there's not that many people out there really eagerly awaiting my videos. I know that, right? It's not like I have some sort of superiority complex, like, oh my god, there are thousands or hundreds of thousands of people out there expecting this video now that I said I would make it, expecting this video to be the best fucking thing. No. But even just the idea of one person having an expectation of me can be enough of this perceived pressure that it completely debilitates my ability to work on anything. And that's what disabled me for making these videos. You know, also the reverse collapse and bake house theory video that I promised I would make in my last video, which you can see here, the GFL anniversary stream reaction, right? In that video, I promised within the next week I would have a theory video ready, and to this day, I haven't even finished that script because I burned out so hard on that because of that pressure I was making myself. You know, as well, the Bridget video when I started my deep dive into Guilty Gear earlier this year, or right now, the video that was supposed to come out today, but now you're watching this, In the Name of Love, the ACG history video, which was supposed to wrap up this big historian arc that I mentioned for the ACG history, you know, or the ACG historian stuff. So, what's the future of the channel? What's the future of my persona online? I'm hitting the reset button. because I found that with all the things I'm currently working on and working towards and that I want to do, I can't do it all. It's just too much. I'm working on Guns N' Girls Reloaded, the art book, and now that there's big pressure there to deliver the physical editions, I find myself suddenly unable to effectively work on it. That's why it's been taking so long. I'm completely man enough to admit that. That's my problem, and I have to get rid of it. But that's why it's taking so long. You know, there's the fact that I want to cover PNC on Bisa's Parlor, my gaming channel, which I did the XDU guides on. But, like, I want to make a Pokemon channel. I want to make stuff on this channel I am working on in the name of love. There's so much stuff that I want to do, and there's many more things that I want to do outside of YouTube. There's Glimmer, which is the current name of the field, the new name of the field, and I want to have, like, unironically, I want to have an esports roster there for Omega Strikers, which is a game that came out somewhat recently in open beta, and it's fucking fantastic. We actually already played in a tournament, but like, there's so many things that I want to do, and nowhere near enough, like, I have nowhere near enough mental capacity to do it all. But that aside, it's become so hard for me to figure out where I do what. And I think that's just a problem that arises from me wanting to do too many things. I have too many things that I'm interested in and that I want to cover. So, even though tomorrow would have been the day that PNC launches, and I know that there's probably a few people at least waiting for my beginner's guide, I'm gonna say now, that is not happening. And I'm saying that with a heavy heart, because I was really looking forward to covering PNC. But that's not happening. The Pokemon channel isn't happening either. I'm not even streaming or making gaming content on Bisa's Parlor anymore. I'm still working on Guns N' Girls Reloaded, because that's a passion project, and one that a bunch of other people are also involved in, and that there are actual genuine expectations for, so I can't let that down. But everything else are things that, you know, I'm gonna say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna hit the reset button here, and I'm going back to how I was planning to do it 3 years ago. I'm doing my main video essay like review-ish content here on Bisa. Be that about games, be that about anime, or anything, really. For that, I want to start that off within the next few weeks with a video about ya boy Kongming, which is a fantastic anime from earlier this year that I wanted to make a video about the moment I finished it, but I told other people about it, so I felt that pressure and I couldn't work on it. I want to do extra content on Bisa's Parlor. Extras for, you know, the main videos that I do on this here main channel. And I'm going to do game streaming on twitch.tv/deadbisa, even though I've said over the last few months very often that I want to move away from Twitch and onto YouTube. If this is how I refocus everything, then I don't really have an option other than either making a new channel for YouTube streaming exclusively, which I think is not a good idea, or I go to Twitch. And I think that's like the best of both worlds here, especially because on Twitch I'm already affiliate. So, you know, as much as I was ready to give that up, it really helps me now if I try to laser focus on this one thing. And, you know, you live and you learn, right? So that's the future of this channel. I want to make a video every month, and I will be focusing on anime and gaming content. You know, at least one video every month is what I'm putting down for myself, because I need some sort of regularity in this to build discipline and that kind of stuff. Oh no, my camera is overheating. Oh no! Well, this is awkward. Hi, I'm Bisa. my avatar for when I'm not using my camera. I guess I'm doing the outro this way now. Thank you all very much for watching, for, following me on this retrospective through the life of my channel, and the things I've done, and why I've done them, and why I'm doing the things I'm going to do from now on. So, again, thank you all very much for watching, and here's to another fantastic 10 years.